So Luke Thomas, he's going to join us, and he started his home improvement business around 1978. That was a good year. That was the year I graduated from high school. So, but we're going to talk to him at the bottom of the hour, and I want to know, this is Sol Mar REI, which is real estate investment, which is what we're going to talk about. And he'll give some good points and tips, maybe if you want to flip some homes or make some investments or have some rental homes. So we're excited to have him on the show. That's Luke Thomas joining us at the bottom of the hour. Radio network, whatever that means. Hey, so listen, we've got Luke Thomas on the phone with us. Luke started his home improvement business back in 1978, and he purchased his first investment property in 1979. In 1980, while doing some home improvements, Luke ventured into commercial real estate services with a focus on roofing. After acquiring more real estate, Luke sold his business in late 1986. Since then, he has continued to purchase residential real estate while being active in real estate brokerage, mortgage, banking, property management, and corporate finance. Luke now advises real estate operators in a number of cities. Most of these operators buy, fix, rent, and sell houses and or wholesale homes. He also offers mentoring programs, webinars, and free one-on-one phone consultations, which you can get more info at www.solmar, I guess it's SOLMARREI.com. So, Luke, good morning.
Good morning, Dale. How are you?
We're doing well. How about you?
Pretty good, thanks.
Good, thanks. Hey, listen, thanks for taking time on your busy Saturdays to get on. It sounds like you've been real active in a lot of this stuff and what's going on. And I notice the market seems to go up and come down and go over the years. What's some of the improvements, or what type of home improvements work do you do?
Well, when I started years ago in the 70s, Dale, I personally have done roofing, painting, plastering, some landscape work. We did a lot of work for homeowners and real estate investors, and we would do finish work on electrical and plumbing, but none of the rough work.
Right.
So it usually was, the basic stuff.
Well, one of the things too, now you talked about plastering. Years ago, I got into some of the market too, and some of the older homes, some of your old Victorian homes, and you're talking about now the plastering. Was that where they had the little slats that they put on the wall, and then they had to fill in with the plaster, and you had to work that stuff down until you got a nice smooth texture?
Well, a lot of what we did, we're based in Los Angeles. We're active in about 20 different markets, or 20 cities.
Right.
Being based in Los Angeles, where I had the home improvement business, a lot of the homes are, stucco finish as opposed to brick or wood clapboard, or what have you. Some of the older houses had the old clapboard. But basically what we had done was a house that had a stucco finish, maybe painted a couple of times. We'd sandblast it down to the brown coat, and then put a base color coat on, and then a texture.
Right. So
some interior.
Go ahead.
I was just say some interior texture work. Some would call it orange peel or something like that. And on the older homes, they had the old button board plaster, and we'd get involved with that as well.
Well, going to jump in again, ask the second question here. It's on my mind is, and I know people have these all the time, but so do you have any do's or don'ts of home improvement that you can share? Which I'm sure you got a lot.
Yeah. I think that, if you're a do-it-yourself homeowner or do-it-yourself investor, always be realistic in what you think you can handle yourself, and allowing the professionals to do the rest. I believe in a detailed plan before you start, having a good scope of work and what you anticipate the finished product should look like is a good idea. And then also putting aside a little extra money just in case, for good measure.
Right, and I've seen, and I can personally attest to that, Luke. I've gone into projects and didn't put any extra money, but once you get into something, and maybe you're tearing out a non-load bearing wall, and you're trying to increase the space, or some things happen, you always run into something else that's a little more cost than you thought before. And of course, ideals change. Do your ideals change when after you're removing this or you're adding that, and then you do something and you do a little demolition, and then think, you know what, I'm gonna go do this. Have you ever done that kind of change right in the middle?
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. But it's the unforeseen things that pop up at you. When you talk about moving walls or taking out walls or something like that. So, sometimes you find termites or rot or something that you didn't see on the outside, and it's like, we got to buy some lumber now.
Yeah.
So it's it's always a good idea to put a little extra money aside. The other tip that I would add to that is the necessity for building permits. A lot of folks just, get their project plans all together and they start. And so I'm a big proponent of building permits. Obviously, if you're just painting the exterior or interior, you don't need a building permit per se. But any capital expenditure items like roofing, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, at least have that thought process going on, whether you're going to get a permit or not. And for sure, if you add square footage, add a bathroom or something, get a permit.
That's right. Do it proper. Do it right. Hey, one quick question before I throw it to Bobby T, our DIY guy in our Atlanta studios. I got a question. When you've remodeled or you've knocked some walls down or you've torn into some sheetrock or plaster, have you ever found any hidden treasures?
Not in walls, but I have found hidden treasures, if you will, in going into a house. I remember we were doing a house in, what the heck was it? Huff Smith, Corville, Texas, which is basically just outside of Houston, Texas. And we went in there, and we're actually turning this house into an office. It was on a 1-acre lot. And up in the corner of the back bedroom was a jar full of silver coins.
Wow.
So, yeah, we still have those coins today. They're worth a lot of money.
How about that? Bobby?
Hey, Luke, this is Bobby T right here in Atlanta. And, we're seeing one thing here in the market, as I was telling Dell and Matt. It looks like a lot of home renovation and home flipping is going on once again. I'm seeing a lot of infomercials on TV late at night and radio spots. Is that a big thing now? Is it profitable now to go into flipping houses?
Well, I think so. I think in your last week's program, you were saying the market was heating up, and I would agree with that. It's kind of heating up all over. Hadn't come to a boil yet, but it's heating up, and especially if we see a little bump in interest rates, that usually puts a little oomph into the market, if you will. But to answer your question, yeah, I think so. I think now is still a good time because of the demand. With more jobs coming to market, there's going to be more demand for housing, and there's still plenty of opportunity out there. You bet. And as far as people, people, I think you mentioned something about people coming to town and teaching this kind of stuff. We offer some mentoring as well, but not at $8,000 or $20,000, whatever those gurus charge.
Yeah, and not too far from here in my area here, I stopped and looked at some of the houses they're flipping. I got a couple of friends doing some of that stuff right there, and believe it or not, they're in high traffic areas or high populated areas where new construction cannot go up. So they're doing these flipping, and it looks great. I've seen some before and after pictures and things like that, and they just absolutely doing wonderful jobs these days with the technology and all the new ideas that are out there. It can be done.
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, Luke, we got to go to break. Can we get you to hang through break?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Hey, we're having a conversation with Luke Thomas. He's got a lot of great information. Stick around. We'll be right back.
And we're talking to Mr. Luke Thomas. And Luke, he's a real estate advisor and a professional. And, once again, in some of these questions I'm seeing right here, everything's coming down to a contractor. What type of contractor do you look for? Or do you look for like a freelance contractor, or would you look for a contractor that might want to be some type of partner or some type of interest in the actual project?
Both, Bobby. We're always looking for good contractors in the markets we operate in. Licensed contractors, insured, bonded, all that good stuff. And we're always open to doing anything with folks as long as we feel that they, are capable of moving forward with what we discussed. And so, yes, just purely, contract for services, or if they're looking to invest in real estate, they can call us on that front, or both, or they can refer us business. If they find some houses out there that need new life, we can pay a referral fee on that. Or if they know somebody or themselves that may want to invest in real estate, whether it be passive, active, aggressive, we'll work with them in any capacity that we feel is mutually beneficial.
Great. Go ahead, Dale. Thanks.
Okay. Hey, and Luke, so are you currently active in Alabama?
We are. Birmingham has been really great for us. Great market. We're looking at some other markets in Alabama as well.
Yes, Birmingham's a great market. A lot of a lot of college kids come down. Several colleges are down there located in that area that are moving in and out. So help you be able to either rent property or actually revitalize or restore. But I tell you, and Birmingham's got a big movement going on about downtown and a lot of the commercial buildings. But one of the things too, do you invest? Are you still investing, or do you flip homes? And you said you do flip them, but what is the value that you found that works the most? Does it matter what area of the country you're in at the time?
Well, as far as values go, yes. I mean, the price points vary geographically, but let's say Birmingham, we're pretty much at the on the lower end of the price point scale. I'd say about 55,000, and on the higher end, probably about 120 to 140,000. That's not to say that we wouldn't do a $300,000 or $350,000 home. It's really case by case, but our core is really what the A through C class properties.
Right. That's what we found in some other places. I used to have a few rental properties, and mine varied from, like you said, 60 to 80,000, all the way up to the 120,000. And in Alabama and up in the north area from Huntsville and Decatur and those areas and Florence and Wilson shows, they're finding some of the homes are the best to flip are somewhere between the 80 and 120 mark. Yeah,
that's about right.
So, well, hey, Luke, there's a lot of great information, and I really appreciate you taking the time and Saturday. I know you got a busy schedule, especially with all the webinars and the mentoring programs and the one-on-one phone consultations. All right, so where do they go? How do they get a hold of you? What's the website? And give all that information out for us.
Sure, absolutely. So if there are contractor listeners out there that, want to do business with us in the construction space, or if they want to invest or whatever, they can just go to Sol Mar REI, and that's SolMarREI.com. They can go to the contact page and just put in the comment section what they're looking to do. If it's specifically a free consultation, just go to the mentoring tab, and they can get on my calendar from there. They'll get a confirmation within minutes of that appointment time. And that's really the best way. If they call in on the toll-free number, just, they should make sure to dial my extension, which is 808.
Okay, so you heard it, folks, here, SolMarREI.com. Go to the website, check it out. Luke's got a lot of great information for me. Check out the mentoring programs, the webinars, and the free one-on-one phone consultations. Luke, thanks a lot. We look forward to having you on the show again if you'd like.
Oh, I would love it. Thanks, Dale, and Bobby and Matt.
Hey, we had a great time. Thanks for, again, calling in this morning. Hey, you're listening to the House Studs Radio Network. We got a lot of more great information for you. Also, we're going to talk here in a few minutes about what can top spring home improvement
1 minute
to increase curb appeal. And there's only 4 of them. We'll talk of those when we get back. But hey, again, a lot of great information. And of course, Luke, give him a call, SolMarREI.com. You can go check out his website, give him a call. His toll-free number's there, and like you said, his extension is 808. So check him out. You're listening to the House Studs Radio Network. We'll be right back. I tell you guys, Luke's got a lot of great information. Been in it a long time. He probably knows a lot about it.
Exactly. And also, once again, like he mentioned right now is a great time for the market to just boom once again, we're in that booming area one more time because, like I said, I hear it all over the Atlanta area right now. And with the construction going on downtown Atlanta and things like that, there's no place to build new homes. So a lot of new home flipping and all that's going on. And I've seen some firsthand experience on some of it, and it looks great, some of these before and after homes.
And guys, Luke was talking about, he offers the mentoring that if people want to get into flipping houses and stuff. And I know exactly who he's talking about because I've gotten the stuff in the mail. They pitch you for this free seminar, then they want to sell you something, $8,000, $20,000. But Luke, he knows what he's talking about, and I don't think he charges near that amount for what he was saying in the interview with you guys. But I just want to caution folks about that. Everybody sees these shows like on HGTV, and, the home values out in California where most of these are done. I mean, there's some done in Texas too, but the home values out there are sky high, and then you tend to make a lot more profit, with the home values. Now, I know some people around here, they're just getting started, but, they're not making $100,000, $200,000 on each transaction. But, if you can make a healthy profit of, $20,000 or something like that on a flip, I say you're doing pretty good.
That's true, and a lot around our area. Again, as you talked about, the Huntsville and Decatur, Florence area, most of the shows, that's not a bad profit to walk away with.
No, especially if you've got crews that you've paid to do all the work. And I know people, some of them like to get in there and get their hands dirty, but a lot of people just hire contractors to do the work, to do the repairs and all that, and then they just try to flip it and, to facilitate that. Of course, you're taking the risk if you've got the money invested in that. But, if you can turn a $10,000, $20,000 profit, in 60 days, hey, that's not too bad.
Nope. Maybe something we all need to get involved in, right?
Yes.
And, Luke Thomas, that I can imagine. And I'm going to get a chance to go see here in March. I'm going to go out and visit our resident guy that calls in, Mr. Eric Stromer. I'm going to go out and visit him out in his neck of the woods in L.A. and see what kind of information he's got, what kind of going on. I know he's building a couple houses right now, and he's doing a couple of remodels. So that ought to be something we can really interested to see the difference in the value. Of course, we know that from he being in Huntsville and being a wife out of New York, and you can sell a cracker box out there in New York or LA, and then of course come to something like Alabama and buy you a mansion for, that it always works that well. So again, a lot of great information today on House Judge Radio Network. Guys, thanks a lot. Listen, and Bobby and I and Matt want to tell you, pay it forward to somebody today. Pat somebody on the back, shake their hand, smile, wave at them, give them a hug. You never know whose life you save. It could be your own. And we love you here at the House Judge Radio Network. We appreciate you listening to the House Judge Radio Network every day. And listen, all right, again, guys, pay it forward to somebody. Pat somebody on the back, shake their hand, smile, wave them, give them a hug. We love you. God bless you. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you next week here on House Judge Radio Network.